What's up, everybody? It's HBT, man, with the Straight Up Wrestling Show. Here live, guys, and Christopher Burton will be in just a little bit. But hey, guys, here live, man, and I'm going to talk about the stuff that we saw last night, guys. It went down. It went down, and hey, Tony Khan decided to air that footage. And I know a lot of podcasts, man, have went ahead and talked about this, but I'm going to go ahead and talk about it now. Last night, I was about to do it after the show, but hey, I was just so distraught about that. I was just like, forget that, man. I mean, when it boils down to it, I just said, forget about it. Wasn't going to really even get on and talk about it today. But my man, Christopher Burton, will be on in just a moment. And guys, we'll talk about it. We will get into this. I mean, hey, I have my personal feelings on it. And I tell you what, if Christopher Burton wasn't coming on here, man, I would rant and rave about that. I'll tear the thing down. Tearing the Tony Khan, tearing the AEW, for allowing something like that to happen. That was just flat out silly, man. It was just flat crazy. What's up? Richie Matthews says, hey, Harry, where's Chris? Chris will be on in just a little bit, man. He ran into a few things at the house, but he's there. He's there, man. He said he'll be on in just a little bit. Richie, glad that you joined us, man. But guys, yeah, I came on a little earlier, thought about coming on for TNA tonight, but I don't know, man. I'm pretty much just shaking my head. Shaking my head here, just thinking about the whole wrestling business. And, hey, what are we doing? I mean, when it boils down to it, what are we doing? We got Tony Khan over here running a wrestling show, running a wrestling company, and doing some of the most foolish things, imaginable. And it's a slap to his wrestlers' faces when he have to do something like this to pretty much garner attention, man, to pretty much grab ratings. And that's what it was. I mean, all out, like I said earlier, I've been saying this since he made that announcement that it's a ratings ploy. That's all that he wants to get from this. And now you have wrestlers out here saying they didn't have anything to do with it. You have the Young Bucks and you have other guys, man, FTR and all these guys saying they didn't want that to happen. They didn't want that footage to be shown. Tony Khan decided, from what everybody is saying, now they throwing his name under the bus and saying that Tony Khan basically. They didn't say Tony Khan, but they basically saying the boss had made the decision to pretty much do this. And look, I know Tony Schiavone, who's supposed to be his right-hand man, I know Tony Schiavone didn't do it. Tony Schiavone, if you saw the way he looked, when that thing went down, Tony Schiavone, I mean, he had his head, he just had his head turned, sitting there on that desk, and Tony Schiavone didn't say anything for like 10, 15 minutes after that had happened. Even when not the Young Bucks, but the FTR went out there and started talking, Tony Schiavone didn't have anything to say, man. He was real upset about that footage being shown. It was just flat out silly, man. And Tony Schiavone said he didn't know anything about it. Tony Schiavone said he didn't know anything about it. He didn't know it was going to happen or anything like that. He was saying that on his podcast, man. But I'm pretty sure Tony Schiavone knew it was going to happen. Everybody knew. I mean, if we knew, Tony Schiavone knew that they was going to show it. We didn't know what was involved in the footage, but now we know. We know it was just a silly little shoving match, and Punk threw like 2 or 3 punches or whatever. He did get a little chokehold in there, man, but just flat crazy, man. It was crazy. It was crazy. And I'm just shaking my head. Straight up. All right. Richie Matthews says, Scott, go work. Okay, it's about Scott, man. Scotty Larson. I know, a lot of people want us to get him back on here, but I guess that's who you're talking about, Richie Matthews. But yeah, I'm just waiting for Chris, man. But yeah, I'm getting on into it, talking about it a little bit about what went down. It was just flat out crazy. It flabbergasted. It flabbergasted me. And look, I really wasn't that shocked. Knew it wasn't going to be much of nothing, but I expected it to be a little bit more than that. I mean, you throw you pretty much putting your whole reputation out there. You putting your company out there. And I mean, it just reeks of desperation. I know a lot of people have been out here saying that, but it's just flat out desperation. Why are you doing this? Tony, why are you doing this? You don't need to do this. You just, wow, man. Wow. I mean, this is a young man who's got a sack of money. Daddy gave him a sack of money, and he just went out here and played his hand, and he's basically done ran out of ideas, done put all the matches together, his fantasy matches of what he was growing up with. Like he said, when he was growing up, he pretty much did fantasy matches and fantasy cards and things like that. Hold on, guys. Hold on. Let's see. Hold on. But yeah, I got a phone call. That's my wife. But let me answer this phone. And Chris, like, all right, guys, that was my wife. I got to check on something real quick for her. But yes, look, this guy took a chance, man. He took a chance. Yesterday took a chance. And that's not going to pay off. It's not going to pay off. So now the problem is this. Where does he go from here with that decision? Where does he go from here? In my opinion, he put the company farther back. He put it farther back than it was before by doing this, because everything was focused on, he didn't have much of a storyline, but everything was focused on the company and how could the company build. Now you have the company, everybody has taken a turn to what's going on with what happened there. And like I say, CM Punk is not even with the company. So you have taken the focus off of possible storylines of, things that you could have finished, like the Swerve story with Samoa Joe, the Mercedes Moné thing, Okada over here now, Will Ospreay and Bryan Danielson. You have taken the focus off of that and you put it on this foolishness that happened months ago, man, this past summer. Something that people they way past that. Yeah, it happened, but if you wanted to show that footage, you should have shown that footage way back. You should have shown that footage back then. Straight up. Straight up, man. I mean, it don't make no sense. It don't make no sense, Tony. And now you have a dilemma going on that you might not be able to. You may not be able to doggone wrangle your way out of. You may not be able to climb back. I don't know how they can climb back. I don't know how they can build their audience off this, guys. I have no clue. And possibly you're gonna lose some people. Straight up. Because look, that just reeks of desperation, and it hurt the people that backed you. It hurts your fan base, because the fan base, man, you got the fan base even pissed off about it. Your own fan base, you're getting backlash all over the internet, all over social media from your own fan base. How many of them are going to turn away from AEW because of that? Because believe it or not, man, even your fan base, people, you got a lot of people that's loyal to you. But a lot of them don't even want to be associated with something foolish like that. They don't. You can push people, or you can only push people so far. And even the people, the most, what is it? The people that the most out, I'm going to use the word. I hate to do it. That even the most outcast people, the people that really not really, the ones that's not really in the loop with people or whatever, they don't want to be associated with that, Tony. It's getting embarrassing. That was embarrassing, man. Straight embarrassing. All right. Oh, wow. Alma Clark's in the house. My man Ben Miller is in the house. John Smith is in the house. Appreciate y'all. Let me get your comments here. Let me get these comments here, guys. But wow, I'm just like, it's crazy. I'm amazed that he would do something like that. Not really. Why in the world would I sit here and say I'm amazed about that? Why? I mean, you guys have heard me. You guys have heard me. The ones who's watched our show, you've heard me bash the foolish decisions that he made time and time again. This is not the first time I've been doing it. I've been doing it since 2021, guys. Even when they were hot, and they was having these great pay-per-views, and they was hitting 900. They was hitting sometime over 1 million. I still was dogging out the decisions that Tony Khan was making. A lot of people, and I tried to calm down or whatever, because a lot of people was getting on to me about it. A lot of people was getting on to me about it. And I was talking about the decisions that he was making then and how it's going to come back and haunt AEW. And now here we are. And I was saying how foolish that was, man, how all they fans was against Cody Rhodes and Tony Khan, hey, letting Cody go. Hey, he should have rolled out. He should have rolled the Brinks trucks up to the door and signed Cody. I said that 2.5 years ago when we started this podcast. Me and Chris talked about it. Me and Chris, and Chris, he did agree with that. I said Cody Rhodes could be the hottest thing in wrestling. And man, hey, I could go and run that show again. I got to go back and find it because we got a lot of shows. But yeah, I said that back then. But hey, Tony Khan, man, bad decision after bad decision. He continues to do it over and over and over again. It's outrageous. All right, Armor Carr says, what's up, Harry Bernard Taylor? How are you doing this afternoon? I'm doing pretty good. Resting up some, still frustrated over the crazy hot garbage BS on AEW last night. Tony Khan needs to get his head out of his ooze and start doing the right thing. Needs a strong person who knows how to book. No doubt about it. Book storylines. That means something makes sense instead of being stupid. Straight up, y'all. B90. No doubt about it. Appreciate it, Armor. No doubt. And hey, like I said, the man got Tony Khan. The man has Tony Khan. And a lot of people think Tony Khan is just an announcer. And you know what? He even said that one time to Tony Khan. You're just an announcer. Tony Khan ran some of the best storylines, managed some of the best people, man. Pretty much ran WCW, and I will have not WCW, but Mid-Atlantic Jim Crockett Promotions at their hottest. I'm talking about when Nikita and Ivan Koloff was going up against the Road Warriors. The Russians against the Four Horsemen. When Magnum TA and Dusty Rhodes, the Superpowers, against the Four Horsemen. Let's see. Man, when you had Jimmy Boogie Woogie Man Valiant against Paul Jones' Army. The Warlord and the Barbarian against going up against the Road Warriors. Jim Cornette, Midnight Express, Rock and Roll Express, when they was over in the company battling each other. When they was having the scaffold matches and all that. Magnum TA at its hottest moments when he was wrestling Ric Flair for the World Heavyweight Championship, when Dusty Rhodes was the booker there. Who orchestrated all that? Who was in charge of all that? Tony Schiavone. Believe it or not, Tony Schiavone was the producer. He produced Jim Crockett Promotions for like 3 years before he went up and worked for the WWE. You got Tony Schiavone, man. That man knows this business. Don't be fooled. But you got that knucklehead that's sitting there making these awful decisions week in and week out just to get some ratings. It's big business, man. It's big business. Big business. I guess last night was big business too. That's some big business that's about to make that company crumble. They about to crumble, man. They about to, they was already barely staying afloat. But now they about to go under. They about to sink like the Titanic. Because, hey, this guy has no patience. Has no patience at all. And I tell you what, TV companies, I remember a basketball coach said something years ago. Got onto his basketball team. And this came from a movie, guys. Came from a movie. 101, Robbie Benson. One of the best sports movies I ever seen. He said, you guys out here posing. You out here trying to impress your parents. You're posing for the cameras. And he said, networks don't carry losers. And when you're losing, a network like TNT, TBS, the Superstation, the #1 cable station in the country right now, they're not going to continue to carry that. And I saw something today where TBS had, they put out all their, they put out something, and it was talking about how TBS carried 50% of the market. They garnered 50% of the market on cable television in the past 4 or 5 months. And they had underneath that, it said it touted AEW ratings for Dynamite, Collision, and Rampage. It touted that. It pretty much put them in a good spotlight or whatever. But I wonder who paid them to put that there. Or if I don't know, this was a wrestling site, so they must have put that, somebody must have put that there. But I wonder who did that. I really wonder who did that. Because at first I thought it was TBS putting out something and saying that AEW's product was hot and they was very proud of it, because they had like 5 million views for the last 2 or 3 weeks for their show on their nightly shows or whatever. But I was like, 5 million, neither one of them, all 3 of those shows combined are not garnering 5 million people. They're not getting that kind of audience. So what are they talking about? So, I thought they was boosting the numbers up or whatever. Then I saw that they was talking about, the basketball games that's been shown on WTBS, and they was talking about all kind of other things that's been shown on TBS, reality shows and everything else is combined with that. So they were saying that right there is getting 50% of the market, and they were saying that all of AEW shows are pretty much a part of that, and they was giving them credit for that. So, I was wondering what was going on. I really was. I was like, wow. I was like, Tony Khan must have gotten into somebody's ear or whatever. But man, yeah, they was trying to make them look good or whatever. But man, I tell you what, yeah, I saw the ratings. They got over 800,000. I think 819,000 watched that last night. I'm pretty sure Tony was hoping to get a much bigger audience than that. He did. They did gain almost 70,000 people or 72,000, whatever. I think they did like 757 the week before or whatever. But what about next week? What's going to happen next week? They probably going to be lower than that 757 that they had. And that 757 was the lowest they had in like 14 months. They are probably going to be, although the 749 the week before, they're probably going to be lower than that 749. It's not good, man. Not good at all. All right, let me get some comments, guys. These things are going up, but I want to go ahead and get the ones that I didn't. Let's see, that I can't see here because, my tablet has just been bringing them up real quick. Ben Miller says, sup, Harry, I'm new here. Ben Miller? I thought I seen you before, Ben Miller. But hey, what's up, Ben Miller? I'm glad that you rocking with us on the Straight Up Wrestling show, man. Hey, you are part of the family, and welcome in the family, Ben Miller, man. I hope you come in and check me and Chris out some more or whatever, man, especially on these live shows. But Chris should be in. Hopefully, Chris will be in just a little bit. I mean, I know he was having some trouble there, but let's see. Hopefully, Chris will be on here before I get off. But John Smith says, hello, Harry. How are you, bud? I'm doing pretty good, John Smith. All right, Richie Matthews says they deleted the videos. Yes, sir. Now wrestler is thinking about leaving. Now wrestlers is thinking about leaving. Wow, Richie Matthews. Yeah, man, they did delete those videos. They deleted them. Did they delete them off the show? I mean, because now they can go, with the technology, now they can go into the shows and they can clip things, even if you recorded it or whatever, unless you recorded it, like I wish I would have recorded it on a DVD, because I used to just I usually burn everything on the DVD that I want to keep. But, if I'm not going to go back and watch it, but I should have burned it on the DVD. Wow. Ben Miller, Harry, NXT is beating AEW left and right. Yep. Yes, they are. And you know what? What's bad about it? They went and they deleted it, talking about some copyright issues. What copyright issues? They own that. Tony, it was done in your building. I mean, you don't own the building, but you rented that building. So you owned everything that was going on in that building at the time. You own everything that's happening with NXT. Everything. So don't come and say that, copyright issues. You took it down because now you're embarrassed. You're embarrassed. You should have been embarrassed before it went out. People tried to tell you, hey, and there was all kind of things going out about people saying how stupid it was and how desperate it was. That stuff was all out there. People were saying that way before you put it out. Days before you put it out. So why take it down now? And Tony Schiavone, I'm sure he pleaded with you. I bet Tony pleaded with you not to put that footage out there. Pleaded with you, and you put it out there. Now I don't know what the Young Bucks. Young Bucks don't strike me. I'm sorry. They don't strike me as being too smart, as being as being too bright. I don't think they're the brightest bulb in the pack. Straight up, I don't. So I'm not gonna sit here and believe those two guys are gonna tell Tony not, hey, we don't want to have anything to do with it. Don't air that footage or whatever. Talking about they didn't know nothing about it. Now they're saying basically no, they knew about it. They're saying that Tony made them do it. Now this scaredy cat, this guy's scared of everything, man. Basically scared of his own shadow. He's afraid of his own shadow, man. Well, at least he was afraid of CM Punk, but I'm sure he's afraid of these wrestlers too. Oh, he's gonna make you do this. He's gonna force you to do this. Because yeah, they're not the only wrestlers who said that. There's a couple other wrestlers who said that too. Said that he made them do it, man. He forced them to do it. But I think these wrestlers are saying that to save their heinies, man. Pretty much don't want to be involved. Hey, when it boils down to it, it's not their fault, man. And because Okada said, not Okada, Ospreay said that Tony told him to go out there to say that stuff that he was saying. So man, outrageous. All right, let me get some more comments here. Wow, Ben Miller. Exactly. Ben Miller says, Harry, NXT is beating AEW left and right. Ben Miller says, this is Eric Bischoff, WCW 98 level, and Harry, WCW was trending on Twitter. Yes, it is, Ben Miller. They was doing, in 98 is when they started doing the really dumb stuff. In 99, they was done. And that's when I was done. I stopped watching it and barely watched it. Watched it all the time. Watched it every now and then with Chris and my friend Dre, and we had a couple other friends. We would go over, we would watch the pay-per-views. But as far as watching their weekly show, watching Nitro, I was done. I was finished. I was sick of seeing the foolishness and seeing my favorite company, man, that I have been watching. And believe me, that's what WCW was. Their roots went all the way back to Mid-Atlantic Championship Wrestling, Georgia Championship Wrestling. That's what it was. And wrestling, because Jim Crockett, he bought up all the NWA territories. But it all came down, it was the Mid-Atlantic area. That's where Ric Flair came from. That's where Barry Windham came from. Black Jack Mulligan, Steve Wahoo McDaniel, the Anderson brothers, all those guys, all that stuff, man. Magnum TA, Dusty Rhodes, all those guys, man. All those guys came from that region. And they, came from that regional territory. And when they went on up and it became WCW, it all goes back to Mid-Atlantic Championship Wrestling. And Eric Bischoff came in, didn't know anything about Mid-Atlantic Championship Wrestling, really didn't know nothing about the NWA. Disrespectful, didn't know anything about Harley Race. All he knew was the AEWA, and I'm sure he didn't know much about that. And came up there and destroyed a great wrestling company. Destroyed it. The only thing I can say about Eric Bischoff now, because I've dogged him out over and over again. He always say, oh, it was the TV execs. It was the TV execs. They hated wrestling. There was 3 guys who had been working for that company for over 20 years that was executives that wanted it off the air because they didn't want to deal with Eric Bischoff. They didn't want to deal with Eric Bischoff. They hated the product that Eric Bischoff was putting on TV, so they wanted it off the air. Wouldn't even sell it to him. When he had partners and they offered $62 million they offered. And they went ahead and instead of selling it to him, they sold it to Vince McMahon for $3 million. That's how much they hated him and didn't want him to have that wrestling product. But hey, it's not about him. And the only thing I really say about Bischoff now, Bischoff is finally owning up to a lot of things that he actually did. Thank goodness. And I will say a lot of things that he said about Tony Khan, he's been right on the money. You know why he's been on the money? Because the guy that made all those mistakes, he's been through it. He done made all those mistakes in WCW, and people seem to want to forget about what he did in TNA. Because in TNA, he went and done the same exact thing, man. Basically destroyed the company. Destroyed that company too. Him and Hulk Hogan. But hey, it's not about them. But like I said, man, Eric Bischoff, now a lot of things he say, man, I have to agree with him. As far as the things that he say about Tony Khan. It's sad, man. All right, let's see. Jeff Samuel, sup, Harry? How everything been, man? You doing live stream tonight for TNA? Jeff, I don't know, man. I got to get something to eat. I can tell you that. I got to get something to eat, and then you get me and my son get something to eat, and I'm going to try to get on to do it, man. Black Rain 7920, that footage proved everything CM Punk said. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. That's all he did. That's all he did was prove what CM Punk said was everything that he said was right about that company. Everything. And he said that Tony Khan is not a boss. Tony Khan is not a boss. Tony, man, wow. Your dad's a boss. You're not a boss. And brother, you need to go under somebody's tutelage and somebody who can teach you how to be a boss. Straight up. All right. Jeff said, I hope so. We can talk about anything, laugh out loud. I hear you, man. Jeff Samuel, can this lead to John Moxley leaving and some wrestler leaving after this crap? It could. It could. John Moxley probably embarrassed to come back after this. Dean Ambrose or whatever you want to call him. After seeing that, he probably embarrassed, man. I would be. MJF probably embarrassed. A lot of these guys probably like, what in the world's going on, man? Because, I mean, Tony is playing. He's playing with each and every one of these. He's playing with his wrestlers' lives, man, when it boils down to it. Because when it boils down to it, if his company falls down, do he have to continue to pay them? Are their contracts guaranteed? I mean, I'm pretty sure they guarantee, but are they guaranteed if there's no company? And you know what? Tony probably would pay him, even if he don't have the company. He probably will. He probably will pay him. Him and Shaheed probably pay everybody. But I tell you what, man, we know how wrestlers go broke. They go broke. I don't care how much money they make. They go broke all the time, And it's sad. But yeah, you messing with wrestlers' livelihoods. Not everybody over there are a millionaire. Not everybody over there is making all of them making good money. But not everybody over there has a big bank account. Straight up. You know, you can have 100 people, but you may be only having like 2 that really save their money or know how to handle their money. Straight up. That's just how it is in every walk of life. So you have these wrestlers over there, man, that can lose their jobs or that company can shut down and they don't have long-term contracts and WWE don't take them or they can't go to New Japan Pro Wrestling. They can't go nowhere else. They can make big money. They'll have to start working the indie circuit, and you're not going to get too much money working on the indie circuit. You're not going to get guaranteed money. And I guarantee you, a lot of these wrestlers got big houses. They got cars. They got, they have a lot on the table. Man, I just don't know. I just really don't know. All right, John Smith said, yes, AEW clipped out the actual backstage. Let's see, hold up. I think you said backstage footage. Let me see. Backstage footage, but kept the promo the Bucks did on there. Wow. Man, I wish I would have put that on DVD. You better believe I'll put it on DVD. Well, they still were scraping from the internet if I put it up there. Out. Facebook, the Young Bucks are too ignorant to pour piss out of a boot. No common sense. B90 straight up, period. No doubt. Jason Michael, oh my God, Harry, where's Chris? Man, he's supposed to be on here. I don't know what in the world done happened, but yeah, he's at home and he said, man, I'm coming. I'm just going to be late, but he said, I'm coming. But hey, man, goodness sake, hopefully he'll get on here in just a moment. And then, that's one thing we talked about. We talking about doing Hall of Fame tonight, guys, straight up. So hey, if we end up doing Hall of Fame or whatever, I probably will not be doing TNA. But if not, I'll go ahead and do TNA. All right, Jason Michael says, rest in peace to the legendary O.J. Simpson. Yes, man. Yes, Jason. Rest in peace to O.J. Simpson. That blows my mind. I just seen that a couple hours ago. That blows my mind. That really do. And hey, I'm gonna go ahead and focus on what he did on the football field. I grew up, I watched him play football. So hey, I do know him from his football career. As far as when he played with the Buffalo Bills, man, I started watching him when I was like 5-6 years old, watching football with my brother, man, back in 72, 73, when he ran for over 2,000 yards. In a 14-game season, I was able to see that, man, back in 73. So, I saw it when I was 6 years old, first grade, and I just had started playing Pee Wee football. So, hey. I focus on what he did in football. Do I think, hey, as far as what he did, hey, God knows, I can tell you that. He's passed away. The man can't defend himself. So, what I think don't count. As far as that go. But hey, he'll have to answer, man. He will have to answer straight up. All right. Hopefully he made peace. Man. All right. Jason Michael said, Chad, my man, Chad Manson. Let's see, is that? Yeah, Chad Manson says, sup, Harry, sup. Chad Manson, glad that you joined, man. Straight up, glad that you in the house with the Straight Up Wrestling family. Oh, Ultra Ego Wisdom says, Ospreay was stupid addressing Triple H. Yes, sir. Yeah, that was real dumb. All right. Let's see. My man Ultra says, did you know Drew McIntyre reacted to the footage on his Instagram story saying CM Punk is an old man picking on a little kid? Wow. I'm not surprised, man. You know what? He's keeping the storyline going. Hey, never miss an opportunity, man. I'll take every opportunity that you have. No doubt about that, Ultra Ego Wisdom, man. Glad that you joined the Straight Up Wrestling family, too. First time I've seen you. But, hey, Take the opportunity, man, and roll with it. Get what you can out of the situation. That's what I would do. So, Ultra Wisdom, Ego Wisdom, man. I'm glad that you let me know that. Yeah, that right there is pretty hilarious. All right, Richie Matthews said I learned about him in school, Mr. Juice, on history homework. Yeah, Richie, man. Look, I can tell you. Look, this is what I will tell you straight up. Outside of Barry Windham, not Barry Windham, but. Barry Sanders, man. Barry Sanders. O.J. Simpson, in my opinion, if he would have never got hurt, would have been the greatest running back of all time. Now, it'd be between him and Barry Sanders. O.J. Simpson was very elusive like Barry Sanders, but bigger than Barry. O.J.'s 6'2". But, man, O.J. very elusive, very fast, quick. Man, was the first one who can really, had that juke and jive thing down. Great fluid runner, man, just beautiful runner. One of the best I ever seen. And everybody knows if he wouldn't have had all the knee injuries and everything like that, and if he had a line, he was just like Barry Sanders. He didn't have a line. He ended up getting a line probably about after his first 3 or 4 years. But Buffalo was a horrible team. But, man, you talking about a great running back. He was transcendent. He was the Michael Jordan of football. Straight up. He was what Michael Jordan in the 80s, he was in the 70s. He had those kind of accolades. He was huge, man. He was huge. But yeah, great running back, great football player. Nobody can deny that, straight up. But hey, it is what it is, and he did what he did, and like I say, he's gonna have to answer for it. That's if he did do it. Yes, I think he did it. Okay, I will go and say that. But man, or he knew somebody who did. Just he put it that way. But man, hey, that don't take away what I think about him as a football player, man. He was my favorite football player ever. Favorite football player. Loved him as a football player, man. Straight up. And, he did some acting, too. I liked his acting. Well, Alma Clark says, Glenn T. White says, what's up? What's up, Glenn T. White? My man over there on Facebook. Glenn T. White is in the house. All right. Let's see. Ultra Ego says, I hope Drew stays in WWE. His trail game is what we need. Let me see. Let me make sure I read that right. Let's see. I got to get the screen darker, guys, so I can read this stuff. Hope Drew stays in WWE. His troll game is what we need. No doubt about that. Ultra Ego Wisdom said Drew McIntyre troll game is hilarious. Yes, sir. But yeah, once again, man, I appreciate you guys joining the Straight Up Wrestling family, man. Hey, and if you're on Facebook, hit that like, share, join. Hey, if you're over here on YouTube, man, that like, share, subscribe, hit the notification bell, ding, 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 so you know when we're on like times like these. And if you over on Twitch, you do the same thing that you do over here on YouTube, man. And if you over on Twitter, guys, and a lot of people have begun to watch this over on not Twitter, but begin to watch this over on X. But if you on X, hit that like, share, tweet, and retweet, and follow the Straight Up Wrestling Show over on X, guys. We appreciate that 100%, man. Appreciate you guys. Appreciate everybody that's in here, man, during this early evening time. Hey, at least I think we're rolling. Yeah, we're in evening time right now. Richie Matthews says, I know you meant Barry Sanders, Harry. Laugh out loud. Yeah, exactly, man. Because, hey, knowing me, I would have rolled on with it and said Barry Windham was a doggone running back, but that'd been a tall running back, man. 6'7". 260 pounds, 270 pounds, man, rolling through the middle, man, cutting on the outside and everything, killing people. All right, Ultra Ego Wisdom, when the Rest in Peace t-shirt released, I made sure to buy it. Hashtag thank you, Drew. No doubt about it, Ultra Ego Wisdom, no doubt, man. But look, Tony cannot be. Oh my gosh, man. You know what? I usually have a path. I usually can see a path for AEW to build off of something dumb that they do, and you can still see a pathway. Like, okay, man, you still got great talent. You just need to know how to book them. There's storylines out there for you. But now, do I see any way out of it? I don't see no way out of this. I wouldn't know how to come out of this, guys. Straight up. I wouldn't. And not trying to brag, man. I'm a very creative person. I wouldn't know how to come out of this. I wouldn't know what to do. I want to see what's Tony's next move. And we know Rampage is not live, so we don't know what's going to happen on Rampage. Collision is going to be live, I think, Saturday, because there's no basketball or anything like that. But, yeah, I want to see his next moves, man. How is he going to move here on out? Because he's gonna have to really climb out of this hole. He's gonna have to do everything he can to make people forget what they just saw. And I think it's gonna stay fresh in people's memories for a long time, guys. A long time. People are gonna remember this. And every time they watch, I know for the next 2 months, people watch this, they're gonna be thinking about that. Every time you say AEW, they're gonna think about that. Yeah, but he did this. Just crazy, man. Concentrate on your product. Why can't he concentrate on his product? If you're only good at putting together good matches, continue to do that. But the thing is this: if you don't give no good storylines, you're gonna run out of ideas on that too. You can continue to come up with these great matches, but man, you only can make great matches so many times. And the thing about it is this: wrestling is not like when I grew up. Back in the 70s and 80s, if Okada and Will Ospreay wrestled each other back in the 70s and 80s, man, they could wrestle 100 times. People had the patience to watch that. You can't do that no more. Once a wrestler wrestles somebody one time, you might see 3 or 4 times. They may have a little feud, but people don't want to see that. And that's why you have problems when you continue to put the Young Bucks against Penta and Ray Phoenix and Pac over and over and over that you saw that. When you saw Matt Sydal over and over against Dante Martin over and over again. When you saw, who else, man? There's so many. Adam Page, Swerve Strickland. They kept doing that over and over again. Hikaru Shida versus Serena Deeb over and over and over and over again, even though that was pretty good. But when you do that, now you can do it if it's a compelling storyline with it. And that storyline has to be always evolving. That's the tricks, the storyline. Always evolving, man. Always. Storyline can't stay stale and you think it's going to work. It don't work like that. It's like a soap opera. You have to build it every day. It's like a soap opera or a TV show that runs storylines week in and week out. That's how you keep people interested in those same wrestlers wrestling each other. That's what made it so great, man. Made it so great. It was always a great storyline, man. If you want to go watch a great storyline, go check out Jimmy the Boogie Woogie Man Valiant against Paul Jones' Army, or Jimmy the Boogie Woogie Man Valiant versus Gary Hart. Man, hey, Jim Crockett Promotions ran with that thing for 4 years, man. 4 years. He went against Gary Hart's Army for like a year and a half, and then Paul Jones' Army for the last 2.5 years. People turning on him like Shaska Watley, Pistol Pez Watley, turning on Jimmy the Boogie Woogie Man Valiant. Then you had that little, thing that Boogie Woogie Man Valiant said one time. He thought it was, he said something racist. They got into it. You had Paul Jones getting his hair cut off, being called a new bald-headed geek. He already was calling Gary Hart the bald-headed geek. Gary Hart had the Assassins after Jimmy Valiant. Then Gary Hart had the Great Kabuki after Jimmy Valiant. So he feuded with the Assassins first, then the Great Kabuki, then Paul Jones' Army. He feuded with Shaska Watley. He feuded with the Masked Superstar. Paul Jones had the Masked Superstar. And so many other ones that Paul Jones had that Jimmy Boogie Woogie Man Valiant feuded with. Paul Jones had Barbarian. He feuded with Barbarian. Jimmy Valiant, that thing kept evolving week after week. Great storyline. Nikita Koloff and Magnum TA, great storyline, man, that kept us captivated week in and week out. We went to school, man. We talked about it. You could talk to anybody. At my school, we had 1,400 students, man. And I pretty much 80% of the student body talked about wrestling. We would talk. We'd be in halls, man, doing lunch. We were or whatever, or right before school, and everybody, did you see wrestling Saturday? Did you see wrestling Saturday? Talked about it. When I graduated, man, got out of high school in '86 and went on to school after that, man. '89, got out of school and then started working, man. Got into the workforce. We talked about it in college. We talked about it, man, when I was out here in the workforce, man. At my job, everybody, man. Oh, did you see Sting? The Four Horsemen kicked Sting out, man. Sting was up there. Oh, guys, this ain't fair or whatever, man. Come on, guys, come on. And Ole Anderson said, hey, you're not going to be a horseman no more. You're not going to be a horseman no more. And you're lucky we're not getting you tonight. Everybody was talking about it. Everybody. That's what wrestling was about, man. And Tony Schiavone, you have a chance. You have a chance to get wrestling back there. You had a chance. Especially when Kenny Omega was your champion. That was a real world champion, man. Hey, no disrespect to Roman Reigns. Love what he did. Roman was the quintessential WWE champion. What that company was about. He was. The way he represented himself and made himself look like he was bigger than life. But Kenny Omega was bigger than life like Flair was as a wrestler. And Tony Khan, you could have capitalized on that, man. You could have capitalized on it. But let me get some comments here, guys. Woo! All righty. All right. Matthew says, you never know, laugh out loud. Barry Windham could have played football, Harry. He probably did, man. He probably did. All them boys in Texas was playing. Ultra Ego Wisdom. I will say for one thing, I understand Ospreay wanted to address Triple H, but to bring up another man's wife is a low blow. No doubt about that. No doubt. Ultra Ego Wisdom. And I love Ospreay's matches. Yeah, he's outstanding, man. Ultra Ego Wisdom. The only thing he did right was literally allow Drew McIntyre to troll Punk more. Yes, sir. Richie Matthews and Harry, you said before, be careful what you say out of your mouth is going to bite you in the butt in the long run. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. No doubt. No doubt. And that's what's happening. Richie Matthews, your mouth is a deadly weapon. Now Tony Khan got to face the consequences. Yes, he does. Yes, he does. And look, it shouldn't have took all this. It shouldn't have took all this for him to realize all this backlash that he's getting, that this was going to happen. Hey, guy was too. He thought, well, at least he thought he was too smart. He was too smart for his own good, man. And once again, like, hey, this right here proves that having a whole bunch of money don't mean that you're smart, man. Don't mean that you're intelligent. No doubt. All right. Ultra Ego Wisdom says, and they literally crapping on Jay White at this point. Jay White needs to leave AEW. Yes, he does. All right. Ultra Ego Wisdom says, plus, what has Sasha Banks done in AEW except talking? They haven't booked her to wrestle. She was better in WWE. Yes. And you know what? She's going to regret this. And, man, she signed, that 3-year deal. 1 year she could get out of this. She has a clause. 1 year she get up and leave. And I guarantee you she's counting the days, man. She's counting the days. If I was her, I would have signed 6 months. I would have been 6 months and 6 months and an option. Option for 3 years. 6 months. And hey, if things are not working out, either one of we could leave on amicable. I can't even say the word right now, but amicably leave on either one of us can leave. Leave it alone. Just up and depart from each other. That's what I would have done. Straight up. All right, Richie says, why do you think Sanford and Son are so memorable? The writing was top notch. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Richard Pryor had to switch his company to get so creative. Yeah, man. Sanford and Son was very compelling. Very compelling. I like to look at a lot of these. I look at a lot of these, some of these reaction videos, some of the younger people, who didn't get to see that, who didn't get to see that show or whatever. Their parents never introduced them to that show. My children watched it. All three of them watched it. Even my youngest 25-year-old, my daughter Dana loves Sanford and Son. Loved it, and she introduced it to her new husband. They used to sit there when he would come over. They would sit there and they would watch it. She watched the whole series. Love it because I introduced her to shows like that. That Three's Company, man, the Jeffersons, All in the Family, those type of shows. Great shows. Norman Lear did a lot of great shows, not just him, a lot of different other people. But man, yeah, you need compelling storylines week in and week out, man, to make sure that your company is gonna keep rolling. Tony Schiavone, man. Tony Schiavone. Put Tony Schiavone in charge. Put him in charge, man. I've been meaning to say Tony Khan, but Tony Schiavone is the man. He's the man. Tony Schiavone will put the right people in place. And that, Tony Schiavone didn't actually book. He booked every now and then when Dusty couldn't do it. But Tony was the one who put everybody in place where they needed to be. Talking about great, man. That guy was outstanding. Oh, what in the world? My doggone tablet is about to die on me. All right, but he knew what he was doing, man. All right, Richie Matthews says, agree, Harry, just like the bloodline now. Yeah, Ultra Ego Wisdom. I remember they were saying Punk will cause issues in WWE by coming back, but so far he has been respected by everyone, including his ops. Yep, exactly. Richie Matthews sad what is going on with Thunder Rosa. She is so good. Yes, that was just ridiculous, man. That was just so much stuff on that show last night. I'm just shaking my head. I'm like, why? He concentrated so much on showing that footage that they didn't concentrate on giving us a good show last night. It was horrible. It was horrible. All right, Ultra Ego Wisdom. Harry, even news reported earlier that Wardlow was supposed to be at Dynamite but did not show up because he was angry with Tony Khan addressing Punk. Wow. I did not know that. Wow, my tablet is dying, guys. Okay, just let's see. All right, Ultra Ego Wisdom. It was stated that Wardlow does not even want to be there if Tony Khan keeps doing stupid stuff. Yeah, he does. All right, Richie Matthews says, I grew up watching Sanford and Son because of my grandfather, laugh out loud, and not only that, because I wanted to make people laugh also, but I got to have spice into it. Exactly. Richie Matthews, remember when on Good Times, the sad ending to James Evans and how people felt sad, felt something? Yep, that was what a story is supposed to be. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. No doubt about that. Man, now I got to go watch some Sanford and Son, man. I've been watching clips. Man, of, these, like I say, these kids are watching this. I'm not going to call them kids, but young people, young adults and everything like that. They've been watching it and watching some of their reactions. And me and my wife, and, we're just cracking up because, they get to see this. They get to see this, how great it was. But yeah, love doing that. Bill Hazelwood, my man, is in the house. All right, Glenn T. White says, what you think about the new Ivar change? Man, look, I like it, but you know what? They could have left Ivar alone, straight up. They could leave Ivar alone. But I can understand them trying to change him up a little bit because he's associated with, what is his partner's name? Man. I don't know, the Viking Raiders, the partner, Eric, and Ivar. So I can see them changing it up a little bit. But let me get my man, I got my man Bill Hazelwood in here. I think I'm going to reach out to Tony Khan and talk some sense into him. Can't hurt. No doubt about it, Bill. No doubt about it, Bill. You can give him a wrestling legend. I mean, you can give him a legendary lesson in how things should run, man, straight up. And this guy right here, Bill Hazelwood, man, hey, one of the, not a lot of people I respect in this game. And look, like I said, me and Chris, we know a lot of people out here on the indie scenes, especially in the Carolinas, man. Carolinas and Georgia. But this guy right here, I respect 100%. 100%. Bill Hazelwood. And some of you guys probably done heard him. Legendary, man. Legendary on the mic, ring announcer, great ring announcer. And, he does commentary too. But yeah, man, but look, this is just flat crazy. We are seeing craziness. Just foolishness week in and week out. Tony Khan, hey, you done did it this time, bro. You done did it this time. It's my partner, Christopher Burton, and so many people, man, have came back on me time and time again. Harry, it's okay. Why you got to continue to analyze stuff over and over, man? You got to go so deep. I just do. That's just me. I'm sorry. That's me. Yes, I go deep into the stuff, man. And when I see things that can be better, I got to say something. I have to say something. And when it's something that you love, that you grew up on, and look, I walked away from it for a long time. And Christopher Burton and, Chris would always come to my house, pick me up. Anytime there was a Raw going on at the Ballo Center in Greenville, South Carolina, which is called the Bond Secure Wellness Arena, Chris would buy me tickets, man, to these wrestling shows and drag me to the wrestling show with him. Because, I was a huge wrestling fan, and I did keep up with it, in wrestling books and things like that. I would keep up with it every now and then on the internet to see what was going on and watch the show every now and then. But, for 20 years, I basically didn't watch wrestling. I was just like, hey, only person that really brought me back was Randy Orton. Randy Orton brought me back for a while. I was like, wow, man, this kid is incredible. It wasn't John Cena. I remember when Chris come pick me up. Chris come pick me up in this Toyota Corolla, man. He had a Toyota Corolla before he got his Camry. He had a Toyota Corolla, man, had a serious system in the back. Alpine system in the back. That thing was bumping, guys, bumping. Came pick me up. Playing doggone John Cena. Now, Chris always played music. Chris listens to a lot of variety of music. I do too. We listen to a lot of different genres. Chris came to let me hear John Cena's tape, and he wanted to see what I thought about it because, hey, hey, I'm a musician. I'm an artist myself. I'm a hip hop artist too. So, yeah, he wanted to see what I thought about it. Not bad at all, man. Not bad at all. But yeah, I used to see John Cena. Never really was into John Cena. I thought he was pretty decent. Hey, but Rock, Stone Cold Steve Austin, love Stone Cold Steve Austin, but I really liked him as Stunning Steve Austin. And I'm going to be straight up honest with you. But, Eric Bischoff never would have got him to that level that he got to over in WWE. There's no ifs, ands, and buts about it. But, he went and fired him. And when he fired him, I told Chris back then, when he told Chris and our friend our friend Earl, call him Dre, my man Dre, told Chris, Dre and Rodnico, hey, that's a mistake, man. That's a mistake. No, man. What are you talking about, man? He ain't nothing. He ain't nothing. Look what he became. Hey. But wow, man. It just, he was so talented, man. So talented when he was stunning Steve Austin. But I didn't like this. I didn't like him going up at Stone Cold Steve Austin. All he did was kick, punch, and then hit people with a stunner. Hey. The guy was he was very good technically. Before that, very good technical wrestler, man. One of the best wrestlers in the world. But you know what? I understood what he was doing. I understood it. I'm like, wow. It doesn't matter what he does. I was very happy for him. Very happy for him. Because he was finally getting his papers, man. He was getting his due. He got it. He got it, and he's still getting it. Straight up. But yeah, let me get some more of these comments. All right, guys. I'm gonna have to get it on my phone because my screen has darkened up. It's not darkened. You can see me good here, but it's darkened up over on the other side, letting me know that that it's going down, that I'm losing power. But I need to hook it up. Let's see. All right. So Bill Hazelwood was the last one on Facebook. Let me go back, man. But yeah, Chris, I don't know what in the world happened to Chris, but I think Chris was getting a little sick there, guys. He really was. Let's see. I see somebody said something about LaWanda Page. Yeah, Esther, man. All right. All right, I'll get him in just a moment because I can't remember where I stopped at. All right. Wow, man. Okay, Ultra Ego Wisdom. I'm going back to Ultra Ego Wisdom. Says it was stated that Wardlow does not even want to be there if Tony Khan keeps doing stupid crap. Yeah, man. Wow. I'm not shocked. Ultra Ego Wisdom. And plus, like I say, he's not doing anything with Wardlow. How many times? I think it's like 2 or 3 times where he done crushed Wardlow when Wardlow was hot. Could have been the hottest star in wrestling, but he crushed it. I think at least 2 times I know of. He's crushed him. crushed him. Just stomped him out, man. By doing something stupid. Richie Matthews, I grew up watching Sam the Sun because of my grandfather. I got that. Richie Matthews, remember when on Good Times, the sad ending of James Evans? That's what, that's how people felt. People felt something. Yeah, I already read that. That's what a story's supposed to be. Richie Matthews, yeah, laugh out loud. LaWanda Page is a legend. Yes, sir. You so damn fool. You fish-eyed fool, whatever. Fish-eyed fool, you old heathen, everything that she used to call him, you old heathen. Heathen is Fred Sanford. And, Lamont used to be like, you Pops. Oh, shoot, who in the world calling me? He used to be like, Pops. Oh, shoot, wow, man, my brother. I'm going to have to call him back. But you like, Pops, be nice to Aunt Esther. That is Mom's sister, man. Whatever. But hey, you would think that because it was his wife's sister that he would be nice to her. But hey, Fred didn't cut no slack, man. He didn't cut no slack. But she used to go back at him. So big ups to Wanda Page, who was a great comedian within her own right, man. Straight up. All right, Ultra Ego Wisdom. I think Will Ospreay needs to build his match with Bryan Danielson and stop addressing Triple H. Yes, sir. All right, Richie Matthews, Eric. Yeah, Eric. Yeah, thank you, Richie. Yeah, no doubt. And James L says, "Sup, Harry? What's up, James L?" Ultra Ego Wisdom says, even news reported saying that Ospreay was forced into doing a promo. Yep. Which he did not want to do. So now Tony Khan is forcing his workers to say stuff they don't want to say. James L says this gave the days of when WCW posted stuff behind the scene. Now Tony Khan done it. Yeah, and that's what doggone put them pretty much when everybody turned the channel. They turned the channel back to WWE, WWF at the time. They turned the channel. And they never recovered. Ultra Ego Wisdom. I was actually happy that Naomi turned up at the Rumble. Yes. Because if she turned up to AEW, 100%, Tony Khan would have treated her like garbage. Exactly. Well, he wouldn't have known what to do. He wouldn't have known what to do with her. James L. Tony Schiavone face expression last night told a lot of words. Excalibur, the only one talking, everybody else was quiet. I would have been too, man. I would have been too. That was the dumbest. That's the dumbest moment. One of the dumbest moments ever in wrestling. I'm not gonna be so quick to say it's the dumbest so far. It does not surpass. It does not surpass the guy. What is his name, man? Now I don't forgot. It does not pass. What is his name? The guy that played. I can't even think of his name, guys. But the guy that played in Scream. What's the name's husband? The girl, the Fran's girl. I forgot her name too. But I know both of them, especially the female, love her to death. But I can't even think of a name right now. But hey, that surpassed them putting that title on him. On Dewey. Let's call him Dewey from Scream. That surpassed that, man. Not really. I'll put that number one. Dewey number one. But it came close to beating it. Straight up. Ultra Ego Wisdom. I was actually happy that Naomi turned up. Okay, James L. Tony Schiavone faces president. Yep, last night. Yeah, told the story, man. Ultra Ego Wisdom. MJF just posted on his Instagram saying, if you think I am coming back after seeing what I saw, then just say no. He called Tony Khan a dumb. Oh, God almighty. Wow, Ultra Ego Wisdom. Thank you for that, man. I did not know. Wow, Tony Khan. What a flipping idiot, man. James L. Chris is on his way, Harry. I thought so. I don't think so now. Hey, he probably got his wife done came home from work. And he probably had to do some things for her. But yeah, I don't know. That's if now he's laying on the bed sick or whatever. He had got sick. The boy was sleeping all day, man. And so I don't know. Sorry about that, James, man. But hey, you'll see Chris. You'll probably possibly see him tomorrow sometime, if not later on tonight. Dave Modge, wow, MJF is the freaking best. I didn't know he said that. I didn't either. Dave Modge says, I like Wardlow doing the F10. Mm-hmm. James L., Grady and Sanford & Son was in Boys in the Hood? Yes, sir. Talking with Lawrence Fishburne about what's going on in the society? Yes, he was. Grady was like, he was like, Grady was like, these jokers right here, boy. He was like, these are the criminals, but these are the ones that making the neighborhood bad, boy. Right here. They're like, what I supposed to do, old man? What if some fool roll up on me? What I supposed to do, man? And Lawrence Fishburne said, hey, that's what they want you to do. That's what they want you to do. Straight up. That was a great movie, man. I haven't seen that movie, wow, since I probably watched it one time. I think I watched it once after it came out. One time. I watched it at the movies, and then I saw it one time after it came out on video on VHS. So I haven't seen it in years, man. So all right. James L says, where's Miro? Exactly. Ultra Ego Wisdom. Miro posted on his Twitter page saying he's watching Raw. He's not going to watch Tony make a fool out of himself. Wow. Ultra Ego Wisdom. So Warlord, Miro, MJF clearly don't want nothing to do with Tony Khan. Can't blame him. Can't blame him at all, man. James L, laugh out loud. If Tony wanted the spotlight on himself, he wanted the spotlight on his company. Hey, man, he's got it now. He's got it now. In a bad way. And once again, man, all I can say is, hey, this might be it. This might be it. This right here might be the nail in the coffin. I mean, the guy has pretty much finished himself. He pretty much, he completed it. He completed it. I mean, it didn't take, WWE to take you down. It took your own foolishness and your obsession with CM Punk. So I got to, hey, you got to give CM Punk some credit on that. But when it boils down to it, it's not CM Punk's fault. Now you have to look at CM Punk. You got to apologize to him for a lot of things. He went over there and there was no structure. No structure. And when you go into a company, and I've been in the companies, man, I left a very good company to go work for a company that had no structure. None at all. Because a guy who used to work for the company that I work for, we was both in management, he came and begged me to come to help straighten out that company to run one of the divisions. And this was in 99, right before turn of right before 2000. Right before we had the Y2K thing that was supposed to happen. So he came and got me, man, to come in and turn that division around. I went in and ran that division in that company, man, and looked at the whole everything and how everything ran in that company. My mind was blown. I worked for him for 6 months, 7 months, and I said, forget this. Went back to my old company, man. Went back. And, they welcomed me with open arms. They were so happy to get me back. But, man, I had to get out of there. They paid me good. They paid me real good. Very good. That company. But I went over there and saw that foolishness, man. I said, I got to get out of here. What in the world is this? What in the world is this? It's crazy. So when you go in and see something, and I was mad. I was angry. Fussing at people all the time, man. Over there about, why are you doing this? Why are you doing that? You can't run a company like this. So CM Punk, I respect what he was saying now. A lot of things that he said. Even though I knew Tony Khan wasn't a boss anyway, I thought maybe he was a boss. He just didn't know what he was doing. But now I see that the guy has no business skills at all. How to run a business. None. So I'm just like, dude, a business has to have structure, guys. It has to have balance. If it don't, everything is going to be haywire. Everything. I don't care. All the way down to the indies in wrestling, you got to have structure. You got to have some business sense about you. You don't just throw wrestlers out there, man, and just, hey, I'm going to have a battle royal. Then I'm going to have a 6-man tag team match after that battle royal. Then we're going to do an 8-man tag team match. And, hey, there's a company here that just done that. I hate to say it. I'm not going to say their names. And I don't care if they listening, somebody listening right now. But there's a company that's not far from me that just did something like that a couple months ago. Called it their big show. And I watched the show. I usually go to their shows as much as I can. But I watched that show. And, man, the structure and how everything went out as far as in that ring, because the bottom line is inside that ring. That's your business in wrestling. that's where the business concludes. That's where your product is. Like if I go into a doggone grocery store, the product is like on the shelves, man. The canned goods department, the produce, the dairy, the frozen food department. But hey, the staples are, hey, what you can get, man. Your canned goods, your bagged items, your sodas, the water, and all kind of things like that. Your staples, what people need to survive. But yeah, you got your meat and potatoes, and then you need potatoes and stuff like that. That's a staple. I always have potatoes. I always have meat. Things that people can survive. Your lettuce and tomatoes and your greens and everything like that. But that's your product. And if that stuff is rotten, you walk into a grocery store and that produce, first thing you see, that was a grocery store here in Greenville, South Carolina, man, in the upstate of South Carolina. That used to be called Community Cash. Used to be a great grocery store, guys. Great grocery chain. And back in the late 90s, they started putting on their produce. They started buying produce that was not up to par. I mean, awful produce. You walk into the produce section, and as soon as you walk in the produce, everything was wilted. Their greens was wilted. Their lettuce was wilting. Their potatoes looked like they was old and they was about to be rotted out. It was just all kind of things. You could tell all that stuff was old. The oranges and things like that was, pretty much looked like they've been sitting there for 3-4 weeks under heat or whatever. It was crazy. So you walk in there and you see that. All the rest of everything, nothing else meant anything. So you have great commentators or whatever, but when you see the product in that ring, the main product is not good. You walk away. I turned around. Me and my wife, we went in there 2 or 3 times to try to give him a shot. Saw that produce, you turn around. Just like you go in there and you see. But that's usually the first thing you see. People going to see, okay, is this stuff looking good? If it don't look good, or you go in the meat department and that stuff looks bad, you turn it around. Nothing else means anything. But Tony Khan, you put focus on something that's not wrestling. And people will remember that straight up. It's crazy. Flat crazy. All right. Let's see. Let me get everything here. All right. Ultra Ego Wisdom Miro posted on his Twitter page saying he was watching Raw. Yeah, I got that. James L. laugh out loud. James L. won the page on Friday as Giovanna Witness. Yeah, that was Jehovah's Witness. Yeah, that was good. Her and I forgot the other lady's name. She's pretty popular too. All right, Ultra Ego Wisdom. Tony just made his own workers not want to work with him anymore. Ultra Ego Wisdom, especially with MJL possibly coming back, that is a non-possibility now. That's what I'm thinking. James L. GM, are you paying for Jehovah? Work, cause if you not got a plan, well, if you laugh out loud, and then she was in don't be a menace to society. Don't be a menace if you drinking your juice in the hood. That's what you're saying. You two shoes dead and right in your ass, sucker. Yep. Talk to Huggy Bear, Antonio Fargas. Yep. Ultra Ego Wisdom Wardlow just posted saying, I might just show up at SmackDown backstage. Wow. What does this show, Harry? AEW wrestlers don't want to be there. No, they don't. Can't blame them. Richie Matthews says, yeah, Chris. Richie, you got me wrong there, man. Richie says Ricky Starks was cheering on Cody Rhodes at WrestleMania. Yes, he was. Hard, too. When Collision was on the show. Yep. Ultra Ego Wisdom. The wrestlers that don't want to be a part of AEW anymore after this. Miro, Wardlow, MJF, and Ricky Starks. Whew. Richie Matthews says, wait, Harry, hold up. I'll be back. I saw something. Okay. Johnny Beans, what's up, Johnny Beans? My man Johnny Beans is in the house. Says, oh my God, Harry. Breaking news, Hook is looking at free agency and looking at WWE. Wow. You know what? Man, he can make it. He can make it too, man. He can make it over there in NXT. They can do something with him. Probably build him up. But you know what? One thing he would go over there, they'll build him up and he will get bigger, because he's got a lot of room to grow. But man, this is crazy, guys. This is crazy. But yeah, let me get off here, man. I got to get some food. If I get back here, if I can eat real quick, get back here and get my son something real quick, guys, I'll get back on here and do TNA. Hopefully I will, but I don't went over the time that I'm supposed to be on here. But yeah, I didn't get it. I'm out to get in touch with Chris. But yeah, Chris, sorry that Chris didn't get on here. But guys, we had fun, man. But I'm gonna pretty much go ahead and get off here. Johnny Beans, thank you for coming on, man. Let me know what's going on. Ultra Ego Wisdom. Hook needs to go to NXT. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Appreciate Ultra Ego Wisdom coming in and rocking with us. Johnny Beans, hashtag truth, my man Scott Larson. Scott, I wish you was here with me, man. Great show, Harry. Thank you, Scott. But yeah, I appreciate everybody coming in here, man. Richie Matthews, hey, Richie came in from the get-go. Says, okay, wow, this is crazy. Yep, okay, Harry, Richie says. And like I say, go check out my man Scott Larson, man, hashtag truth. Know a lot of you guys have, man. Scott Larson, hashtag truth over here on YouTube. Check him out, guys. He's on Facebook, too. Does a lot of indie stuff, man. Great commentator. A lot of you guys love him. Want to see him on here with me and Chris even more often. And I'm pretty sure Scott appreciate hearing that. But yeah, I appreciate everybody, man. I appreciate everybody. And like I say, my Facebook users appreciate you coming on. Like I say, guys, I appreciate all the people that came during this weekend, man, as we did WrestleMania this past weekend. Great, man, our response and how many people that came through. Facebook, man, we had over 700 people that watched Monday Night Raw over on Facebook. We appreciate that. Combined with YouTube and X, man, over 1,000 people watched that stream. Appreciate that 100%. Hey, I haven't put all that out, but a lot of people watch that, and we definitely appreciate that. But man, I tell you, it's just crazy. Yeah, what we saw is crazy, and all I can say is where they go from here. And I'm not going to say good luck because that's a word that's, hey, I don't really use that word. All I can say is, man, that's good fortune going forward, and straight up. And man, Tony Schiavone, you look disgusted. Tony, I hope you have the guts to open up your mouth and talk to this guy and tell him your accolades, tell him what you did, give, everything that you did. Use your experience to help Tony Khan out because he needs help. None of us want to see, I don't want to see them go out of business, man. I do not. Because, if they go out of business, you got a lot of great wrestlers out there who won't have any place to go, man. They really won't. Because WWE can't take everybody. TNA can't take everybody. And a lot of these indies cannot pay these big salaries. It does give somebody else a chance to get up, though. Go up. To give somebody else a chance to go up, man. But this right here is a bad mark on wrestling. Because if they fail, you're going to have a lot of companies out there going to say, hey, we want to have nothing to do with wrestling. Because you better believe a lot of these companies out here, that stuff with WCW is still fresh in their memories, man. Straight up. A lot of these companies know what happened there. And they don't want to have anything to do with wrestling. That junk it's crazy, man. It is flat crazy. But yeah, let me get off here, man. I do got to get something to eat here. But yeah, I want to get everything here. Yeah, Richie says, I saw that too on my news. Richie Matthews about Hook. Wow. Richie Matthews, my head hurts. Unbelievable. Laugh out loud. Richie Matthews, Tony Khan is the one trying to kill a Harry. Yep. Richie Matthews, just like Bischoff, done with WCW. Yes, he did. Yes, he did. Man, he killed it, man. He destroyed it. Straight up. All right, guys, stay straight up. I'll talk to each and every one of you later. If I didn't get your name, man, a little bit later, I hit it up. But, guys, I'll come on tonight and do something if I don't do TNA. But, hey, look for me a little bit later on. All right, guys, talk to you later. Have a good night. Have a good evening from here on out. All right, guys, see each and every one of you. Peace, man. Stay straight up.